Live from London. In crypto. But you need to go on YouTube. It probably was. It was the brand new studio. The studio, the new studio is better than Capital FM. Stories. I did like a little tour. Yeah. This is so neat. You got a camera, you got so that there is hidden influence. Look in that cupboard.
The cable cupboard.
The cable cupboard. I got to the gate. I turn up, open the gate.
That's how I'm feeling. That's why I said anyone want to play. I was like, oh, I meant to be here. When he leaves.
I was feeling all small. I'm supposed to be here till Thursday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. This is he's going to the Monopoly house at the top of the room now. And if you're listening to our app, if you're not jump on the first app, Clubhouse, and come and find the winners guide. It is the number one so there you go. You've been tuning into the show for a little while. And we're like, why is it 80 quid?
It was 80 quid because it's large.
When you put it in the group yesterday, I
just spent a lot of time pressing a lot of buttons on the
bench. Guys, so we can't.
Remote control. If you've got the
instructions. Once a week, we like to do the small business workshop with you might know these guys. Some great moderators and speakers that we are part of our family here. We would like to bring to you these small business workshops to help you as a community, it's a family. So any small business insight on a go and check out as well. It looks fantastic. It's like, if you look at camera view, look how big my forehead is. It's like the back of my head. I appreciate you doing that, but look at that span. You can just land it on my big old. If I turn to the side, I've definitely not also, we've got a fantastic guest. Multiple seven-figure businesses.
the next couple of weeks.
We haven't. We've got Jessen James today. We've got James
coming Monday.
Expert in the world of EMF, electromagnetic frequency, electromagnetic radiation. What the hell is that? It's basically all of your tech devices. Connected. And it's mad science behind what happens. Other than that, you might want to be mindful.
Building anything that's electronic or give which is where any the phone that's on the wall has what VOC. If you walk into a room that's been newly decorated, that's all that you get. Some people suffocate on that smell. The VOC, which is as stuff heats up, so even when as the environment warms up the house, everything gases off the VOC, and the warmer it gets, it will gas off and give out VOC. Yes, everything, plastic, every house will have a VOC. Basically, the smell gases that it's giving off. Some people literally, she was so bad in certain cases. With the project, this lady was worth over 400 million net worth. She couldn't go in a building because it caused the lung to collapse on a few occasions and stuff. So we spent research in this house or products to go in this house.
You must have had to buy everything.
Yes, that concrete is terrible VOC. So most stuff houses stuff called hempcrete, which is a natural replacement made of hemp. VOC paints again the hemp based as opposed to oil based. You don't realise, but when you buy hemp from a building merchant, it's been treated to stop it. But the treatment they've got is horrendous for somebody with stuff like even if it's in a loft, when it gets on a sunny bed, they'll be able to smell that. So natural hinders that are not treated, all sorts of stuff we had to.
Wow.
Ventilation system that constantly circulate the air to it would go through. But not only was she actually anything that came out like onions, chemicals and stuff as well. So, like literally if you opened the window and a car would go past, potentially if it was a big van, it was giving off a lot of emissions. That would filter its way out the house as well. It filtered filter all of that out. Small 500 pounds. I think small 500 pounds, not small, but a relatively standard house that cost in the millions. Research and all the stuff that went into it to make it.
Specialist contractors who deal with it.
You've just got to get a very good. What was really bad for this and part of it, we handed over the power back. Usually, if you do your house, you'll come up with a long list of snagging. She was so bad. I went to a meeting with her. Set of clothes and continuously which you wear and we'd still
live your life
and we'd
like
still
that.
meet and freezing cold conditions in the room, we'd meet and feel under umbrellas and discuss the house and stuff like that. What we didn't want to follow up back into the house afterwards.
Of course, yeah.
Because every time she done that, she'd have to leave it a couple of days in the house to ventilate, so it was a big disturbance. We said it had to be right before she moved in, basically, and then she moved in, nobody could go back in. So,
She lived by herself?
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it? Talk about that on Monday.
It's a real thing for many people. It's for those that suffer from it. It's pretty bad. Yeah. I didn't realise until we was asked to do the project that, and you start doing the how bad it is.
And you wouldn't necessarily that sort of part of the community, not a woo, but between isn't there? And sometimes realise how much it will affect. I wonder if it's so I'm not sure. Get over if I
some people that's
yeah.
They'll
those 5 towers from being anything within 5 mile radius to schools. Yeah. There's another guy who we've had on about so you as a worker in you can you have the right to disconnect. So you work 9 to 5 and by law your employer should not require your services until 9 o'clock. Should not be required to in the evenings. As most of us in this room will be
Paul wants to move there.
The next day. Yeah, again, if you're your own business, you've kind of decided that that's not enough. If you work for somebody, you don't want to be contactable all evening, then you should Paul's smirking. So, yeah, so we interesting. I think I'm going to try and get it for Monday. Just annoy Paul. Oh no, he's I think there's another thing that we came up with in this series was actually I run a retreat, a 10-day retreat away from the devices, 10-day silent retreat, and apparently on day 4 you go batshit crazy, like you go silent for 10 days.
It sounds like when I have a right.
Yeah, about 4 days you like start to lose it a little bit and you hallucinations and
Yeah, because
people put it. It's very similar to an ayahuasca trip, which I've also never. I would love to do. So
next week.
Okay.
I had some questions from last week, so I'm about. I'm just seeing messages. I'm just.
Paul, we'll come back to you in a week. Podcast about it, didn't you, as well?
Yeah.
You should listen to that. I'll listen to it.
What, new?
How do you protect payments? That's the part of work that you release every week. That's generally how it works.
Glad
I have to do it week.
Team manager is like, I'm sorry.
For the past week.
But I have to give him
somebody said about how do you protect it, but anyway, unfortunately, my friend, you can't. Ask that question. It's £1 million. It's basically 10% tax on the first million of gains that you make. So per person, not per business. So if you're involved in multiple businesses or you whatever profit gains arrive from the sale of shares or that business, you pay only tax on the first million you pay after that.
Years back, it was like seriously, like such relief on that entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing that they're supposed to incentivize. Like 30%. Different colour. No, we're not going to do that. Sorry, that worked too well.
They was hiring.
For the masses, isn't it?
If you are
using
they
just dropped it.
It went mad. We do 70 yeah. There was a lot of visitors out there. And we had, no, they were they were doing 5 or 6 a day, depending on where 5 or 6 roofs a day. So that would come and fit the
popular. Would you literally have like
how we doing large scale fitting across as the roofs that are here registered by a company called roof, and then sell the space to our phone operators. What Savills purchased or leased the roof space of all of you've got a council estate, social housing estate. They lease the roofs, every roof on that social estate from the social housing company, and then every house would have solar fit. So we were doing a lot in so we'd gone to every company to cut the story short, when they changed the bidding tariff, it's like everything, isn't it? If you release a scheme that people can make money for, that's what happened. Every investment fund in the world got involved. And the company that we were subject to a major company the following day owing us a considerable amount of money. As anyone does, by the way, because it's like inherently business. You release an invoice and then into your bank accounts. It's like cash flow, and then you become reliant on it. It's like cash flow. Yeah, it is. But so personal guarantee. So it will go wrong. On me. On you. On me. As soon as we were paid, because what happens is works when the payment is made from the company that owes you money, the factoring bank get paid the funds. Right. And actually on the debt. So that's how it works. So they give you straight away, and what do? Then pay you like 9%. They pay you percentage immediately. Then they when they pay the remaining percentage minus the fee contract to take. Yeah. Company want their money within the first day. If the company's not going to pay it, they come up to the director to pay it. Want the money back that's already in it. So where lots of volume and where the credit rating of the particular company was really high at the time, we had a big account with that company. We was always worth of money that company to us as a and then immediately as soon as the fee was cut, that money was due back to the factoring company and somebody had to pay it. That's pretty good.
I remember doing interest free.
Sunday table, sort of sell stuff to your nan and your granddad. Like, trying to sell their rooms. It wasn't it to get £25,000 worth of insulation for free, blah blah blah. It'll pay you for 25 years.
That little short period. It was.
Yeah, it's the people that signed up to that and then are still getting that fee tariff. So they're not that's on the topic of tax rate, actually, it doesn't really work for existing businesses, but if you're starting a new business and you're tax investment from other people, you've got something called the Enterprise Investment Scheme, EIS, which is a way of you structuring the company with HMRC. You have to basically put HMRC to confirm that the setting is relevant for Enterprise Investment Scheme, EIS, and any shareholders into that. On an investment basis where people are going to invest in that or your own money, because you get not only people invest relief from the staff when they sell their investment, they also get relief from losses as well should it not work out. So
to do your own due diligence.
This is a good question. Do you have negotiation strategies?
Bruv.
Well, do you know what? I tend to try. I'm what the other person wants and find a way to give them what they want. Where you, well, I think that's the. If you can be nice, if you walk into the negotiation, know exactly what the other side wants before you sit down. Well,
Find out they meet in the middle. Like, it just depends what you
ask them.
Yeah. Good answers. That is it.
People don't expect the direct question, do they? And it's what's in it for you? What do you want out of it? You know, what are you here for? I just start meetings like this. I don't used to, because we used to end up just going on a 4 or 5 hours. But you used to sit down with big project teams and we sit around the table, start a meeting or something like that. Before the meeting would start, what's the 2 or 3 points that we're going to walk away with for this meeting? And then as soon as it starts, I'll track straight back to those 3 or 4 points.
We start implementing that. Hit the voice note.
I'm sure there's some very complicated negotiation strategies out there. I just try to ask them what they want. And then listen as well. You know, listen. You find with most people make up in front of you if you give them the space to do it.
As well, within your industry, that they go, I want this because I think well this why because it's 10 years. So actually, like in the media industry, for example, 8 to 10 times your annual revenue is kind of standard for exit. You can kind of get an idea of where you're going to be. But something is always worth.
Michelle said EIS, I'm assuming, which is enterprise investment scheme. EIS, which is enterprise scheme. So it is. It's just I think the lower thresholds, the SEIS part is a lower threshold or a lower level of investment. Greater schemes or larger schemes. So they're effectively the same thing.
Jimmy Carr, it's called Icebreaker. So the way you invest into different entertainment-based businesses and he's involved in that, and that's that scandal. So all of it was completely above legal. Literally, his accountant knew the team. Absolutely rinsed.
But then
almost
like TV
show where they talk about the biggest news of the week. You have a panel of like 6 comedians and they kind of like roast the week news almost. And the host of it had been the biggest news of the week. Because the Prime Minister, I think it was Theresa May at the time, she mentioned it in Parliament.
I remember the front of the paper like 1% tax or something.
Yeah.
Just out.
But you were allowed to do it. This was the crazy thing. I was like, don't apologise, Jimmy. I was thinking, don't apologise for it because it was literally, he was allowed to do it. And the argument was that only the super wealthy can afford to have the tax to avoid as much tax. It's like,
yeah,
a gazelle doesn't getting chewed by a lion because it's getting chewed by a lion. Shit, like you're a gazelle, that's a lion. I'm sorry, it is the way that it is. There's lots of those schemes out there because there's a few of them who invested into that Icebreaker. I think there was Aerosmith into trouble. There was like big megastar celebrities who had all invested in this stuff. I don't actually know the legality behind it. It was all tax assistance, should we say? So there we go. Right, we've covered up some questions from last week. If you've got a question for this week, then feel free to either pop us a message in the back channel. There's me, Action Paul. We're all in the studio today. We'll answer your questions until about 8 o'clock. And we've also, don't forget, we've got a panel. If you're listening on Clubhouse live in real time, we've got a panel of moderators, speakers, experts, etc. who can advise you and guide you with certain aspects of your challenges. And then at 8 o'clock this morning, about 8 o'clock this morning, we've got the fantastic Jessen James, who is coming into the studio. So if you're on stage right now, feel free to flash your mic if you've got a small business challenge or a small business question. I'm going to turn off the hand raise and then I'm going to turn it back on again. Please only put your hand to come up if you have got a small business challenge and if you've got a question that our illustrious panel of experts can assist you with this morning, my friends. So flash your mic if you're on stage. Hey, it's Teresa's birthday. Clubhouse birthday. She's got a balloon. Happy anniversary, Teresa. She's been here every day. She's been here more than Ashley. She's the person who opens every single room. We're still not sure how that logistic works, but somehow it does. There you go. But yeah, if you've got any question or query that you'd like to put to the panel, feel free to flash your mic now or forever hold your peace, you beautiful bunch. Or if you are in the audience, if you'd like to come up and ask you a small business question, you can also feel free as well. Obviously, Paul's got a lot of experience with scaling businesses up. Ashley is the lead generation sales expert guru guy. I can help you with anything related to branding or podcasting or broadcast or PR kind of questions. So there you go. Feel free to jump up and let me know. Everyone's gone quiet. Right after we fixed it. Fixed everyone's small business challenges. No one's got a challenge anymore, Paul. You've done such a good job.
Actually, so we couldn't hear him through the headphones, but it is now.
Okay. But I don't think we've got no challenges, so everyone's fixed. We've done it. You've done it. Between your Jenny's always got a problem. What's your problem now, Jenny? What's your problem?
Oh, thanks. It's not that I've got a problem. It's just, I can always come up with a question.
Oh, I like it. Come on, let's improve. Mm-hmm. Let's improve on. You can't improve on perfection, but we'll give it a go.
Exactly, that's it. But I'm all into mindset. That's what I do. So I've got a growth mindset, haven't I? So I always want to improve, get feedback, and always learning. Yeah, and actually, that's it. And I've been wondering where to ask the question, so I'm hoping this is the right route for it. So I'm looking to change platforms for my online learning. At the moment, I use ClickFunnels for my membership because it works well enough at the moment. But I'm using, ConvertKit for my emails, ClickFunnels for hosting where my courses are, and I'm also using Workplace so that they've got a space to come into that's not specifically Facebook, although Workplace is a Facebook app. That's costing me around about £700 a month because I use the affiliate links in ClickFunnels and things as well. So I've got the biggest package. But I'm looking at changing to like Kartra or Kajabi or one of the other ones. Rob always mentions one because actually I think they're going to give me a kind of all-in-one package solution, and I just wanted people's thoughts on what ones they've used, what ones are good, pros and cons to any of them, and things like that. Because it's going to kind of be able to bring all into one area, which is great. But I really don't want to lose that sense of community. That's really important for my guides, is they have a place where they can be a community. And I think some of them you can't really do that, and I don't really want that community on Facebook because obviously they can't see the notifications all the time and stuff gets missed in Facebook groups and things like that. So that's my question. So hopefully you guys are using various options and can tell me a bit about it.
Awesome stuff. Great question. I'm just scrolling down the screen to see if she's in the room, but she's not at the moment, which is a shame. There's a lady called Kylie Anderson. Reach out to her directly. She's fantastic. She is like the course launch queen here on not on Instagram, here on Clubhouse. I've worked with her. I know there's a lot of people on stage who've worked with her as well. She's fantastic. So go and check out Kylie. What have you got? I've always used Kajabi and I found that to be fantastic. I know they've got community parts within Kajabi which works really nicely. You can you can drip feed the content to come out at certain points in time. You could do basically Kajabi is co-owned by Brendan Burchard, isn't it? And it's kind of like trying to. Do
you know they're a unicorn now? Do you know that?
Are they?
Mm.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, big time.
But
they're on that unicorn. There was a unicorn list.
That's right.
That came round. That somebody who was speaking about that, but Kajabi were on that. Hosting online courses. Yeah, Kajabi.
Yeah. That's got built-in. It's basically got you can build landing pages. You can do all your sales through it. They've got email automations. You can have an email list. Kajabi's fantastic. Obviously, there's loads and loads of them out there. There's loads of different options. It depends what you want to do. But they have got a good community area on on Kajabi as well. I know that Lucienne's got a big community that she's grown, and she's doing a course, I think, with Kylie, and she was flashing a second ago. Are you using, because also Lucienne is a Facebook hater, like a proactive despiser of Facebook. So she won't have a community over there. How have you found Kajabi? Is it working?
Yeah, it is. They have rolled back on a couple of parts, though, with the community and the conversations. So you can have, by the way, I've used pretty much everything you can think of, and I've come back to Kajabi. I've gone full circle, if that gives you any indication, Jenny. There's a gap in the market, folks. There's probably a reason why there's a gap in the market, but I seriously find that whichever platform you use, there's always something that just isn't quite right. So with Kajabi, it definitely fulfills 90% of what you want in community building, but they had to pull back on the being able to chat with one another on the app. So you don't have that kind of group feel, but the group can comment on courses or on certain things that you've posted. So you can have that element of chat in there, but it's still not the same as a Facebook group, unfortunately. And it also lacks a little bit in the email campaigning side of things and in the CRM side of things. So having active campaign on top of Kajabi is what's had to be done this end. So I need to build that out. And yes, I've worked with Kylie, and she's absolutely brilliant. And she doesn't like Facebook groups either. But Facebook groups are the place to build a community. It's just, I think it just sets you apart if you can have that individually. So Kajabi's the one. Stay away from Podia. Podia is terrible. And Squarespace do a members area too. Stay away from that. That's the best advice I can give you. Kajabi is the best all-rounder at the moment, I think, on the market.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I was doing some stuff. I was coming in Friday. I was doing some stuff with James Sinclair a couple of years back, and we were looking at converting his live events into like an online platform. And my God, we went through two sort of standalone ones. Then we had one that tucked into the back end of Infusionsoft. Have you ever tried to build a flipping community in Infusionsoft? My God, it's like pulling teeth.
When I was researching if we moved the app or where we moved the app, I come across Mighty Networks, which I had a look at. Yeah. And we had a demo of that. Passion.io, which doesn't sound like a community app, but sounds like something else, doesn't it?
How did you end up there?
Oh, that was when that payment come out the bank account that late at night. Paul was spent
with passion. Yeah.
What are you up to?
But they looked okay. The reason we didn't is because they were pretty rigid in how you. You can't say that.
I was speaking to them.
Went up to passion.io. It's too rigid for me, so I had to leave.
They were pretty fixed in the layouts and the templates, so you couldn't there wasn't much you could change to make it look bespoke with Mighty Networks and Passion, but they done the same thing, didn't they? Yeah. The problem is with a lot of those platforms is if you want and this is where Facebook is built for building communities, isn't it? Yeah. That's it. So the tools and the way it works and the functionality and everything is specifically around building that community, whereas a lot of the other platforms, I think the community part is a secondary element, so they just chuck the community part in at the end, and so they build the platform to host the content or to do something, and then they chuck in the community element part of it. So yeah. Yeah,
I think what Lucien said is right there as well. You're probably going to find a platform. There's probably multiple ones that will work for you out there, but you're probably going to get one that will do like 80 or 90% of what you need. Then you're always going to have to build on some form of functionality, whether, like in her case, she's having to use Active Campaign or you use MailChimp. Don't use MailChimp, that's horrific. But,
You can see how much they're marketing on TV.
Yeah, they're going for it big time, aren't they? Them and Squarespace seem to be like absolutely after a bit of a land grab at the moment, don't they?
But I was sitting there, I was just sitting there and I thought, really MailChimp, because I just didn't think their audience would be. I don't know where, I can't remember what channel it was on, but I just didn't think their audience would be sitting there watching TV.
That is a surefire sign they've taken on outside capital. When you have to, like when you get loads of building works happen, like road works in about April time, because they've got to spend all the budget by May, or else they won't get the same from the council the next year. We're going to dig that hole up. Why digging that hole up? Oh, it's just a big hole in it. Oh, mate, yeah, cheers. Thanks, guys. I think the same thing works in VC land, doesn't it?
Spend the money quick.
Yeah, exactly. Right, is anyone else? So Kajabi is who's using Kajabi, by the way? That's probably a better way of doing this. So if you are someone who is out there who is actually making money from a course right now or from an online training offering. Let's do it this way. If you're using Kajabi, give us a flash of the mic, just so that we can see. Yeah, there's a few that are flashing the mic. If you are using Mighty Networks, give us a flash. Okay, nobody. If you're using, what was the other one that was mentioned? Podio? If Podio is part of what you're using? No. Kartra? Anyone using Kartra? That used to be a big thing, didn't it? Kartra, that seems to have gone off the boil a little bit, Kartra. No, so it looks like it's pretty much Kajabi's your way to go, my friend. So yeah, go and check that out. Have you looked at that one, Jenny? Would that do what you want it to do, do you think?
James,
Yeah,
could you just pop in here, please?
Sorry, who's that?
It was Lauren.
Lauren, we're doing flashes on the mics, my lovely. We'll come to you shortly. Thank you, my love. Yeah, have you looked at Kajabi, Jenny?
Yeah, Kajabi is my forerunner because, like Lucian said, and the reason I didn't just go, yeah, that's sorted, is because I think it would probably be 90%, and then I'll have to do something like WhatsApp groups because my guys love to chat to each other. Like the chats go mad, and Workplace is quite good for that because you can group everyone into little subgroups and things, and then they've got their own little chat with the subgroups. That works really well, but for what it actually does, it's quite an expensive option. And this isn't just about expense, so this is actually about user experience, but the expense is just quite nice. If I can get it all come into one package, that's great.
But yeah, for all the various different ones, that's quite an expensive way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, and also the thing with Workplace is you're charged per user, so the more I scale up, the more it costs. And it's not a huge amount or anything, but it's costing me about £300 a month for Workplace at the moment, because that's about the number of users I've got on it. So yeah, but yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Lauren, what was your quick tip there, my friend?
Yeah, so if you want to build a community and have a like for a Facebook group, then Circle. So if you go to circle.so, that one is literally built for communities that does courses and memberships, self-study, drip feed, and it has literally every option available. It's got great integrations, but it is for building communities around platform courses, and that's exactly what it's for. And it's fantastic. It's there's that, and there's SamCart, but Circle is the way to go. You can manage your courses, community is for it. You can people can chat on direct message, and the format is exactly like a Facebook group, so you have that community running live courses through the platforms. You won't have to, because currently you can put you can soon be able to put your live feed. I have it connected to the campaign.
It's Brendan Burchard who owns Kajabi. So if he knows that his likeness is being used on their website, maybe his legal team should do something about that unless he's an investor. Yeah, it looks like Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income, Josh Hall, so some quite big podcast communities are using it by the looks of it. So yeah, good shout. Thank you very much, my friend. Awesome stuff. So there you go, Jenny. Hopefully that is useful to you, matey. Right, so we've covered off communities this morning. If you have got a small business challenge you'd like us to discuss in the room, see, workshop it like that, come and get some of our experts to come and give you some advice and tips as well. Practical practitioners of their craft, people who are doing this stuff in the day-to-day, then feel free. We've got a couple of people that come up on stage as well. Toby was flashing a minute ago with a small business challenge. Toby, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Morning, everybody. I'd like to know how everybody assesses opportunity. What is it that they are sort of mulling around in their mind as to whether it is an opportunity or whether it's going to be a distraction?
Oh, how do you assess an opportunity? So basically anything that I bring to Paul, he looks at very seriously as an opportunity because he knows that I'm the opportunity hunter, don't you? That's He's busy doing other stuff. I'll speak for him. It's fine. How do you assess opportunity?
I think we said this last week. Does it get you? What you have to have your own little mini mission statement. What you want to, both for you and your businesses and you personally. What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to be in however many years? What does success look like to you? And then does that, whatever that potential opportunity, does it take you closer to that or further away?
I have me around and I'll just put the opportunity.
Yeah. Does it take? Do you want to be in a film? Does it take you closer to where you want to get to, or does it take you further away? And it's a very simple question to answer, isn't it? And if you break it down like that, because you can overcomplicate it, you can start doing pros and cons and all that type of stuff. But very simply, does it bring you closer to your end destination or not?
Yeah, and I think whilst it's very simple, I think there's beauty in that simplicity, because a lot of people will be looking at stuff which maybe they shouldn't even be considering because they don't know that point. Like, what is your mission individually for you as a person, for you as a business owner, for you as a for you and your family? What is it that you want to do? Because otherwise, I've got a mate of mine, and don't get me wrong, he's landed on something that's mega, and he's killing it. But my God, I've known the guy for 17 years, and for 16 of the 17 years he's just gone from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, because he's like, oh, there's an opportunity to do this, I'm going to do this. And don't get me wrong, I've always had like a level of sort of love and respect for him. I'm like, I want the guy to win, because he's just so desperately wanted to just better himself. No bad thing. I think anyone who's out there trying to do stuff, whether it be like everyone who's got like a half decent Instagram account, then all of a sudden they're a social media agency, or people jump onto network marketing or whatever it may be. I've got nothing but love and respect for people who are trying to be, do, and have more. Fantastic, crack on. I think the people, not like that disrespectful, but the ones who are sitting there watching EastEnders of an evening time and they're not trying to better themselves and they're kind of content in their own space. That's cool if that's what you want. But for those who are trying to aspire to be, do, and have more, fair play. But there is an opportunity. They say there's an opportunity cost, don't they? But I think there's also an overwhelm of opportunity cost as well, which is very, very real. So it goes back to, what is it that you're actually trying to achieve in your life? Sorry, Paul was about 2 centimetres away from my face there. I thought he was coming for like a little kiss on the cheek. I was like, oh, he's finally come around to my way of thinking.
Not with the kissing part, but that's why clarity is key. If you're very clear on what you want, you know which direction you need to take. That's why people bounce around, because sometimes they're not quite clear on what they want to do, how they want to do it. They don't fundamentally have the answers to those basic questions, but they bounce around from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity.
I had this very real thing happen, very exactly the same for me with Clubhouse last year. Everyone told me to get onto this Clubhouse app, and I was like, right, I'd set my goals and my intention for what I could do with the podcast agency. Like, right, nothing's going to derail me. And then the 3rd of January comes along, and I'm on Clubhouse for the first time. 3rd of January comes along, and I got the first actually shipped for the first time. Let's go to a call. I don't even know. What we talking about for a couple of hours, that TV program, White Gold, with the double glazing announcement. I still don't know what I'm doing. Actually, it just keeps selling me on it, on the concept of it. But I had that crossover. We've talked about it a few times. That first sort of like slightly awkward meeting. I was like, I'm not interested in it. I'm there. So I was on Clubhouse to be perceived as the expert in audio space and to collect leads for an agency. That's it. That's what I was interested in doing. And there's a bigger picture and there's a bigger opportunity. But I'm like, I'm not actually. It's not what I came here for. So sometimes, even though you've got your mission and your vision, I guess the kind of with Clubhouse, it lines up because the whole thing was around audio and owning an agency. So ultimately, it does tie in, sort of. But still, you do have to know where you're going, but you have to have that little bit of flexibility. So you're not going to derail yourself every time that the latest shiny penny comes along. But if something folds into that empire, as James will talk about on Friday, like I could make that jump. I could go, right, Clubhouse, audio social media app, audio agency, like that to me made sense, and I could almost, maybe that's just a justification, frankly, but I could go, okay, I'll allow this to intentionally derail me for a little while. How do you look at opportunity, Ashley Shipman?
I don't know. I get too
just
much.
grab all of it.
Everything's an opportunity.
Grab all
in
of
Ashley's
it.
world.
Well, the thing is I don't know, but then this is where, you guys have been helping me. Like, it's good. Because
When you're a kid in the swimming pool, you put your arm out, you make your own big wave, you go like that when you do that in the swimming pool.
I don't know why.
That's how Ashley just scoops you up.
I don't know why. I don't know. You may have the answer why, but I just get so much, and I always have.
What opportunities? or perceived opportunities put on your desk
all the time.
Because you're a deal maker. Because people come to you because they know that you're the guy who can make a deal happen. Like if someone's an investor, you can find a deal for them. If someone's got a deal, you can find the investor for them. That's why you get so many of them. Because fundamentally, you know, from the perception standpoint, you know, the reality is very different. But from the outside looking in, you're a nice guy as well.
but the thing is, it's like,
and you make shit happen. That's why as well.
And the thing is, we was on the phone the other day, and you was just saying like, you need to actually eliminate and actually start getting the people come to you, because you was like, I bet someone will ring you and go, oh, do you know me to do a driveway? And I'd be like, yeah. I know it's totally random, but I could. Like, because
you're the guy who knows everybody.
Yeah, they'll be like, someone be at your house tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I need to start eliminating. I need to start actually getting opportunities that actually align with where I want to go now.
Yeah.
And
serves you to a certain point. I think it serves you to be that person. Because again, like I've, you know, within the brand consultancy stuff that I've done, I've linked up a couple of people, and there's a very big deal that's about to happen off the back of it. Now I just did it because it was like, I like party one and I like party two. I'll connect you guys up. At no point in my mind I'm like, oh, I could get a commission here or I could get paid. Like I haven't done it for a monetary reason. I've done it because there's some good people, and if I can connect good people together, it's good karma in the end, isn't it? Ultimately?
Yeah, but money becomes a byproduct, because when you work with the right people, they'll just be like, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And it's not even the fact that, oh, if I look after them, they give me more business. It's just that you end up, when you like deal making and you're in that space, people will just like, you will eliminate the people you don't want to work with and naturally attract the right people to work with. Because it's like, the money becomes a byproduct, but like you do, and then what happens is then when things start moving, you start structuring things, and then it's just smooth. You have the uncomfortable conversation, agree, deal, and then move forward. And it's like, I just think that's good. But yeah, you hit home when you said last week, like, does someone ring you for this? And I was like, yeah,
they do, yeah.
And they ring me for anything,
yeah.
Like, and that's where I need to reposition.
I'll tell you what, the other really interesting thing that we've sort of discussed a few times on this show and in various podcasts and stuff that we've done, obviously, you can sometimes have the perception that you've missed out on an opportunity. So, for example, you had the opportunity to get involved very, very early, didn't you, in an energy company. and it looked like that it looked like you missed out on a £100 million opportunity. Like you would have been...
Well, for a period of time, I did.
For about 3 years.
Well, that's the energy crisis has taken them out. The founder, who was going to get to come on here, but I think he's a bit tender at the moment. He had a net worth of over, through starting that company. The company's 6 years old now, but through starting that company, a net worth of over £300 million in his shareholding and stuff like that. And he's probably got a net worth of zero now.
Yeah.
Listen, he's probably lived in a £2 million house in Hackney. Probably owns that, I would say, or with a very small mortgage on it, if he's sensible. So he's not come out of it in much of a bad state, but considering actually the reason it's fouled is not his fault. I do feel a bit sorry for him. It's what it is.
But that opportunity was put to you a while ago, and it would seem like a great thing to get involved with, and it looked like you missed a particular boat, but because it didn't line up with your vision, you could...
Oh, well, it wasn't that actually. No, you know what? I was, the reason I didn't do it is because I was having money building a house. Okay, yeah. So otherwise, but I was hemorrhaging money building my own house. So I couldn't find money quick enough. The builders were knocking on the door every Friday for paying, and you literally couldn't build a house for themselves or like done a refurbishment before paying. But literally, you hemorrhage every single penny you can get your hands on. I've put clients in that position on many occasions, and clients who send them the invoice to expect to pay, you don't see the payment on the other side of it. But when you doing it, they're not going to get the phone calls every Friday. So that's the reason I didn't go for it, was because we needed to build the money, which is bad timing. But otherwise, I probably would have. Would I have cashed out to some guys that company over the years? So 5 years, nearly 6 years, I think. They grew from nothing to having 1.7 million customers. The energy companies
Lamb, I think.
Yeah, because they've not. The government hasn't allowed. Yeah. The energy crisis. It will not. Honestly, we've been talking way through and people realise what's going on, the average homeowner, well, my father-in-law is an example, his energy contract, he was on a fixed deal which ended yesterday. He came in with a panic on his face yesterday, but I need some advice. And what? His bill was gone up by 150 quid a month.
A month? Wow.
Yeah, because the problem you've got, and I know a little bit on it, which is why I was talking about it now, but I don't know, there might be some energy experts in the room, so I don't know the ins and outs of it, but basically a lot of our gas, the problems with gas, not electricity, a lot of our gas came from Russia.
Yeah.
And for whatever political reason, Putin turned the tap off, so not to keep gas. This has been going for a long while, and they can't get a solution to it. It's probably a complicated reason why. Anyway, lots of lines with gas. But all of the gas that's coming into Europe at the moment, coming in what's called LNG tankers, so it comes in on ships. So it comes in on ships and then gets pumped in the barrel. They basically get to pull the ship up to the side of the dock, put a big, like you see a petrol station, to plug a big fuse in and chuck the gas into the gas network. And then those gas tankers, gas tankers, it's stored and then used when it needs to get used. So all of the gas we get in the UK is imported by tankers. But China, because they're a global economy and their air travels, they are buying all of the gas. So the cost of LNG gas buying tankers has gone absolutely through the roof, completely through the roof, and it has been going on for the past year, and it's been rising up and up and up in the wholesale gas markets. What happens is that an energy I'm a supplier I'm a customer who wants to buy gas in my house. The energy supplier has to basically buy from the wholesale market or prove that they bought from the wholesale market enough gas to supply their customers. So when you sign up an energy company, you say, I've got a 3-bedroom house, you've got a 3-bedroom house, I've got this, I've got that. That makes an assumption on how much gas you need, and then that tells the energy provider how much gas they need to buy from the wholesale market. So they know how many megawatts of gas, for instance, that they need to buy, however gas is measured per month in order to supply the customers. And the ones that are very good, the commodity trading comes in, they'll buy it on a future price. They'll say, right, okay, I know that it's so much 2022, I need X amount of gas. In winter 2022, I need X amount of gas. In summer 2023, I need X amount of gas. And they'll be buying that in advance to try to hedge the costs. Smaller companies can't afford to have a big 5 or 6 energy companies act and hedge so far in advance that they haven't got the capital reserve to be bigger. They hedge on a much shorter basis. Like they'll be looking 3 to 6 months ahead. And they'll look at weather patterns. They have weather meteorologists, sitting in their office looking at weather predictions and saying, right, okay, we're going to be a really cold winter, so therefore we're going to need more gas to buy more gas for next winter, this winter. And there's a lot of excitement that goes into it. But what basically happened is the energy market has gone up so much that the cap in place in the UK for the amount that you can charge. So now, every single month, these energy companies are realizing a loss that they can't make up because they can't charge the customers. Not allowed to charge anymore. If the government removed that restriction and allowed the energy companies to charge more money, so how there'd be massive prices, which is because the energy companies but you can't expect us to continue to buy customers at a loss every single day.
That's what you say with who had to bulb folded. Someone else had to take on the 1.7 million customers.
That's because they've got 1.7 million customers. All the what should happen on the regulations is another gas supplier or wholesale, another energy supplier has to take on the customers and adopt them. So you can go to an EDF or an energy company and you can say, this is me, this is my meter, bulb has gone bust, you need to take over my supply. But all of these other companies are going, no, we're not taking it because there's 1.7 million customers that are lost. I think it was about 1.5 billion in the red, which is just effectively crept up and caught my eye. That was the amount of customers they got, the volume and the prices gone through. They didn't hedge further enough in advance. They were doing nothing wrong. They were doing everything with the regulations. It's just the wholesale market against them. Some properties for 5 or 6 years and had the upside, and that's right. You know, some of the shareholders that I knew on them, have bought houses all around the world, had a very upside over the 5 or 6 years. But the reality is, the crisis from energy bills, especially in the UK, is going to be, and we might not realise it till this summer, maybe next winter, but when it does, if they effectively say that the energy companies can now charge more money, the bills will be going up by hundreds of pounds, thousands of pounds a year.
Will not have the money to keep the lights and the heating on.
But again, the government has a lot of incentives to keep the solar.
The other issue that's there as well, we will not have, I know people that are very big in the gas market, and sort of brokers, traders in the wholesale gas market, and we don't have enough gas in the UK because we can't buy it, but it's still going to be bought by other countries as well, and Putin's not turning his tap on to supply us with gas. So we can't get enough. We haven't got enough gas here. If we have a really cold winter in the UK, you'll have next month. If there's a really cold, I don't mean to put back in people, but if there's a really cold winter, we don't store enough gas in the UK to supply everybody. It's a bit lucky it's not really cold at the moment, because if it was, there'd be panic in the gas market, because there's not enough gas storage to give to everybody, because you can't get it.
Thanks, Jimmy. Everybody, hope you're feeling good on this Wednesday morning.
This is
Thanks.
My gas bills, my energy bill is near enough grand a year. This building,
They like doubles, like you're huge.
wiped out. I have to turn the coffee machine off.
Oh, you've turned it off. You stripped everything else.
No, it's a big. If you supply like we do, supply energy on the house, obviously all of our offices. It's a big issue. Yeah. There's no way like we're solely like going back to the feeding solely in government hands.
Yeah, of course.
The negotiators can negotiate to happen, or that they can sort of play. Quite frankly, I don't trust anybody in the UK government to sort anything out. What we're seeing at the moment.
Putin can get negotiated.
Do you know what they need to do? I reckon, even with a translator, shipment literally be like, that's my Russian English.
Apparently, the business secretary, if I won't name, the business secretary in the UK, I know people who have sat in meetings with him over this crisis, and have said, this is not a word that will summarise. Literally, zero understanding of the problem, zero understanding of how to fix the problem, and doesn't seem to have the will to want to fix the problem. It's the problem. Would you go to politics? No.
Paul, if me and you and Shipman make a winner's club. Imagine if you like Conservative, Liberal, and the output here from for the winners.
The problem is this: we lose sometimes people.
It might be like that, mightn't it?
We could be very blunt about it when we're talking like this, can't we? But we're not influenced anyway politically by anybody. So I think if you some would say like Nigel Farage is independent to some extent, isn't he? Although he's a bit of a madman at times. Probably how you see it, but that is the trouble. Is that it always you'll see the story of the gas crisis for what it is. That business sector is also influenced by that's going on with COVID, by that's going on with foreign affairs, with other negotiations that are going on, but other things with Russia. There's so much to take into account.
Some people can't take that information on. That's so like the thing is like when you go, you're in a better place to know what you do, and that's the thing, and that's why some people
because they've fallen into the same habit of everybody else because the world they're influenced by people.
So you need people who are independent to run the country.
Scare the life out of people.
Inside Job.
No.
It's a really documentary called Inside Job on Netflix. It's quite old, about 2010 or something like that. It's based on the crash. It unravels how the financial crash happened and why it happened. And it started in Iceland, didn't it? And it went into America. It unpacked how it happened and who caused it, basically. But what comes out of that as a byproduct is how big the financial banks are influencing politicians. So the figure, and don't hold me to it, is something like every politician in the UK or senator, there was free lobbyists that are paid by the finance sector. Yeah. So there's more. But the same happens in the UK. Yeah, of course, you've got so many things that happen. Yeah. We say they're all idiots because most of them are. In their position, which we do not know. We can sit here all day long and say, "Oh, well, you'd get into that position, you'd be completely independent." So many forces work against you. It must be very difficult. The fact that it's hard.
Well, you find out when you become president of the United States.
Where they want to direct you.
It's on the TV circulating in the back. Did you see the interview we had yesterday?
I love the fact that it was bring on Alistair Campbell.
He didn't know. He thought it would work then. And the politician pointed out to him, so you go out to the garden at the back of
Street.
number 10 down. You go out to the garden, and there's tables set up with people on them. But you still thought it would work. Come on. That's how I was told it would work then. Honestly. It'll be
I bet
Ta-da.
the bookies.
Anyway,
Political man.
about the gas crisis.
Toby asked a question about opportunities. We've got all over the world, terrified people about the gas crisis, had an opinion on politics.
I think somebody get somebody to come and talk a bit more in the energy market. It's eye-opening.
You know, I think you should. But it's so weird. I was talking about opportunity. Let's get someone saying, I actually don't speak. I really need some help. At 7:26, you just see if you can get help. That helps with that. Yes, so much stuff sent to me. The thing is, that's actually normally that's actually a line, but 9 times out of 10,
It's a phone call.
it's a phone call. Because what I'm saying is like when the opportunities start coming now, just get the right person, like yourself, or whoever needs to be in the conversation, connect them, step back, and and I just think back. I won't chase it up. Just let me know what's the crack. But yeah, opportunities.
Not all opportunity is a good one. Who's done that?
Sorry, that was me. Yeah, I've come up with that guest to meet the gate.
He's fantastic. Yeah, so in about 20 time, we've got fantastic Jessen James, business coach, business expert, multiple 7 figures, to be live in the studio. So we'll be doing a bit of an interview with Jessen himself.
Actually, move that direction slightly so you're in the camera. So I'll to one side. There's the camera, my friend. You have to stay centre with that. Okay? No, it's a bit complicated.
Can you bolt my chair to the floor?
That's
So
delayed, by the way. That's been used in. So
I'm still doing that.
actually, it's delayed.
I think I need my chairs to have wheels so that I can stay.
I think you need a straight jacket.
You're in control, okay?
Good
am I?
God. Why don't I go and get the game and you stay in control? Switch it over, gang. Sorry. if you're watching on Clubhouse, sorry, you know why this is it. Why this
Paul still sitting there on my screen.
there's stuff here. There's like iPads now. There's all these additional items. Anyway, we'll make the best of it we can. The jingle's still working. Does it still work? Oh, yeah, does that still work? Oh, fine. Still got my fake applause? Perfect. No, I'm good to go. First like you'd like to share this morning, gang. We're taking small business challenges this morning. If you've got something that you'd like to, please only let us know if you'd like to come up and ask a question. We've got scale up sales, branding, marketing, PR experts all in house, and we can assist with any of your small business challenges. Give us a flash of if you've got a challenge we can help you out with. Sniper, morning, Snipes.
Morning, Jack. Morning, buddies. Loving the studio on YouTube. Wow, flipping hell.
It looks cool.
Capital FM. You said, what was it you said last year? We're BBC but shitter.
Yeah.
You have to change that. Give us the new one. Your BBC but... Yeah. Even better.
I was looking back. Yeah, I like it. I was looking back for my phone yesterday. Because
Joe Rogan does like it calls up a website. There's a little screen at the bottom. You've got little screens. You know, if you look at his podcast and he refers to something, he's got someone at the back channel on little things. That doesn't look as clean as what you guys got.
That's the only way we're beating Joe Rogan. With better screens. Other than that, he's got us clipped on everything else. I was looking back yesterday on my phone. I was looking for an old photo and I saw one of the first guests ever to come into the Women's Club was you. And this was in I think it's April or something last year. In the little studio next door.
It was Dean was first, then there was Ray,
right.
and then it was me.
That's right. We slowly sort of lost the quality of the guest.
Don't tell Jesse James that.
Right, straight in the barrel now. We're desperate for people on the website.
This one, on the back of the conversation before, have you seen that film Don't Look Up?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Everyone's telling me to watch it.
It's like Marvel. You have a love or hate it. Basically, the premise of the story, there's a comet going to hit the Earth in 6 months' time. It's sort of scientists on the back of his roof. Anyway, so he goes to the government, he's got to do something with it. And you can see how the political will start learning about, hang on, we can't just tell people this, it's going to be panic. So how their agenda, and it very mirrors a lot of what's going on and what Paul's saying. Like, it's all very well saying that the energy is X, Y, Z. There's certain things you can't say. There'll be mass panic in the world and you can't control it. So look at Don't Look Up, because it gives you a real insight of actually, you might want to be completely neutral to it as it is, but there's other forces at work. If you do that, it will make it worse than that. It's not right, it's just I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, awesome stuff, thank you, mate. Yeah, I've heard great and awful things about it. Anything that polarizes people, I've got to go and check that out. So yeah, awesome stuff. Right, give us a back, Mike. We've got time for one or two more shares before we begin this morning's guest, the Small Business Workshop. We're every single week on the show. If this is your first time tuning in, by the way, every week we help you out with your small business challenges. We have got, as you've heard this morning already, we've got some great guest moderators, speakers, friends and family of the Winners Club, members of the gang who can assist you with various things moving forwards. I saw Sonny was flashing earlier. Was Sonny still flashing? Sonny, are you still there or have you popped off? Sonny, hello mate. You were flashing a little bit earlier. How can we assist you this morning, pal?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for letting me ask the question. You guys are great as always. So the question is, I want to start marketing. My platform is Shopify. I use Google. I want to really move away from pre-designed templates and really give a nice aesthetic. I think it might be Jen mentioned MailChimp and a few others. Just recommendations really, just a good platform to start using for marketing. You can design your own designs, and then it's sort of cross-compatible across Shopify and Gmail. So that's the question, and thanks for having me.
Awesome stuff. So when you take design, what do you need this thing to do? Because obviously MailChimp and sort of email functionality is very different from Canva. So what is it you're looking to design exactly, mate?
Sure. So I just want to create my own campaign that's completely bespoke, so it's a little bit more tailored to actual aesthetics of my website. I looked at Shopify and some of the other platforms that are sort of pre-built. So in terms of looking at sort of competitors and what I like from other sort of brands, for example, just my own design that's sort of very uniform with my website. That's what I'm looking for. That's sort of complete control of the design without losing compatibility.
Okay, do you need this platform to sit somewhere? Do you need this to actually sort of, again, whether I'm missing the point, I'm not sure whether this is a design question or like a platform question. What are you trying to do with what you're trying to do next, if that makes sense? You're trying to get people onto a platform, you're trying to email market to them. I'm just not sure. Maybe I'm missing the point here. I'm trying to enlighten a bit more.
Sure. So yeah, just trying to market to people, but it's just my aesthetics in the presentation. I'd like to sort of create a completely bespoke email design as opposed to sort of a template where it's kind of pre-structured. So if there's perhaps a recommendation for a software or a platform that allows you to do that, and it perhaps might still be compatible with say Gmail and Shopify.
Right, okay, I'll speak. I'm going to turn this over to you guys. If you've got any advice you could dish out in Sunny's direction, please feel free to let me know. Melissa, we'll come to you.
Yeah, I just have a question about the type of email that you want to send, Sunny, because sometimes when it comes to email marketing, some of the simplest things work. There's lavender out there that can help you in the way that you communicate. Some of just the ones that feel like they just come from a real person, as opposed to something that's overly designed, actually work a lot better. So, can you explain a little bit about what you're looking to do with designing the emails?
Yeah, sure. And apologies if I've explained it as clearly as I would have liked to. I just want to, as I say that sort of email campaign, where it's, thank you for registering an account, here's a discount code, this is the latest collection. I just want the presentation of the email customizable so I can actually have it in line with how my website looks. Shopify, for example, lets you create a campaign, but there's pre-designed email templates which I'm not too keen on. Just wondering if there's recommendations to have the ability to create it completely bespoke, so it will be in line with the aesthetics of the website.
In terms of the aesthetics, the actual text and the font, so you can obviously align that. I don't know enough about it, but just from my own experience in terms of sending emails out, if you overly design them at times, it can end up that they're going to end up bouncing back because there's too much in terms of size and the way that gets sent out. Someone else may have some other information, but that would just be my advice in case you go down the whole of doing that. Just my thoughts on that.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, that's a very, very good point. The more fancy stuff you put into emails, the worse the deliverability gets in a lot of instances. So if you've got like HTMLs, you've got images, if you've got stuff that is moving and graphics, all that kind of different stuff, potentially you can really trip yourself up with the deliverability. And again, you've got to work out what's most important is to get through that functionality and make sure you're trying to get through to as many people as possible. So yeah, anyone else email marketing expert? I'm seeing Matt Wilson in the building, but I think he's dropped the day, isn't it? Lying after yesterday. He does 1 day's work and then he has to have a week off. Who else is give us a the mic if it will put you quickly.
Okay, hi, good morning, Sonny. I was just picking up on I've got a Shopify account. Obviously Remy's put her hand up as well, so he's in space. I've got a Shopify account and you can customize everything. You can use plugins, and when you talk about designing your website, it looks more like your aesthetic. You can actually do that using Shopify. You just need to attach the plugins. I can give you in touch with my Shopify designer, worked with him for 6 years, and I've got loads of apps attached to my Shopify account, and one of them is Fabio, which says email marketing. Like Melissa says, it's about sending an email that looks like it's come directly from you without all the HTML stuff. But Shopify is really, it's good. You just have to know what plugins to attach, make it like what you want. So yeah, if you message me, I can send you. I'll be in touch with my designer. He works freelance as well. If that helps, thank you.
So we were just talking about where Jessen James is. Right, somebody needs to be muted. There we go. All good, all sorted. Yeah, great advice. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who's got a final share on email marketing tips and advice this morning we can dish out to Sunny? I think Michael's you come to. Okay, who else was flashing? Someone else was flashing. Dr. Maggie, go on, we'll go to Dr. Maggie and then we'll move on.
Hi guys, good morning. I was actually flashing to say, I think what Sonny was saying was that when his email marketing goes out, he wants it to be literally a little bit very, very similar to his actual online marketing. So if you just DM me, Sonny, I'll get my gentleman Harry to call you on that. He won't charge you. He'll tell you exactly what he uses. Because that's exactly what we do for the business practice. Every time you see one of our online panels, email marketing, it all looks the same pattern. It's just about building a class list, and it's really compatible with all online platforms as well. But just find out what he uses, and if you DM me, I'll let you know. Okay, I hope that helps. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much, Dr. Maggie. Right, let's have one more share. One more question from the audience. Again, if you're listening via our radio player, listening again via the app, and you're thinking, how can I get into these conversations live and in real time? What we need to do is search for the Winners Club on Clubhouse. So if you're listening in Clubhouse right now, make sure you have a chance to get the little green Clubhouse. Tap to the room right now to become one of our 35. That's right, 35,000 members. We hit 35K yesterday.
Made it live.
Mate, guys, we're now quite happy. 35,000. I'll be telling the grandkids, Granddad, what did you do when we were younger? One time I did social media after it was massive for about a year. And me and my Ashley, Ash. Well, don't talk to me, Dad. He's a bit weird, that guy. Yeah.
He was the king.
He was the king of this app. He ruled the digital world for the metaverse kid. This is before we had an avatar and that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's go for one more challenge, one more small business challenge. We're going to go to our expert guest for this morning, who is live in the studio. So if you've got a small business challenge and you'd like us to assist you with this morning, give us a flash on the mic and we will come to you. Is anybody flashing? Nick. Let's go to Nick. Nick, good morning, mate. How are you doing? What's the small business challenge about?
Good morning, Paul. Thank you very much. My small business challenge, I'm in the fitness industry, so I'm in the fitness space. I had a gym for 10 years, and COVID, I decided to go fully online. Now, with things reopening back up and people getting back to normal, I'm at a sort of scenario. If I go back into the owning a facility, there's two places that just come up very close to mine. One of them's about 4,000 square foot, but extremely expensive. And another one, which is about 1,500 square foot, where we have a few people in person and still online. I mean, we've got clients all over the place, but it's just so bloody slow. So just a bit of advice, really, thinking, do you think the market's a little bit uncertain? Or should I just think, you know what, let's go back to the basics, so getting that big open and trying to get that in person as well as that virtual. I just like to get a bit where everyone's at with the minute. Thanks, guys.
Awesome stuff. Sorry, Captain so sold on his new technology. It's not I'm looking at him going, he lets me press the mute and unmute button. That's the only involvement I have in this whole shindig. But now my button's been taken away.
I've never had buttons.
Now I feel like you. Now I know what it feels like now to be ostracised from the power.
I bang my phone. I'm just trying to do something.
Just something. I mean, there's still no excuse for you to bang your phone as often as you do, and you walk out the door like a flipping bullet in a china shop, frankly. Right, great question. Yeah, really like that question, Nick. Thank you for coming and bringing it. So, the challenge is, let's to reiterate, so any of the experts and speakers can contribute to this. And also, I'm hoping that if I can get contact via eye contact with Paul, there we go. Finally got there. Stop fiddling with the cameras, man.
I've broke them. I'm trying to fix them.
We've got a small business challenge here. So Nick is in.
If I don't fix them, nobody would be able to see how handsome Jessen is.
That should be the priority.
So there we go.
That should be the priority. So in the fitness space, had multiple facilities like gyms shut down during lockdown and has pivoted everything online and doing quite well online, but now the world is obviously opening back up to a certain extent. Should he go back into having a facility or stick online? 2 units have come up local to him, one which is quite expensive because it's 4,000 square foot and one that's slightly cheaper because it's 1,500 square foot, where you could get a certain number of people in. So what say you, Paul Applecrumble, scale up expert? Should he be going back into the real world or staying in the virtual metaverse of PTing online in digital dots?
I can only liken it to what I would do, right? And if I'm here, this building is a physical building. It's a bricks and mortar business. We need to have a physical presence. We can't provide people with workspace if we don't have the workspace, no matter how much Mark Zuckerberg tells us the future of workspace is in the metaverse. Maybe it is, but at the moment we need office space to give to people. I'm holding. I'm not at this moment in time taking any more. There's too many variables that are still at play for opening physical locations, and I whether it's the energy crisis that we spoke about going to come up and bite people in the arse, whether it's future lockdowns. To me, there's too many variables. If you've already got an existing client base and you're going to open a new location, you're going to fill it with your own existing clients, and you haven't got to put too much investment into going and finding those clients and getting them to come to that location. If you haven't got to spend a fortune on fitting out a gym or creating that location, then they're all factors that would have to come into the decision. But personally, I would just hold on opening physical locations. That's me, But like I say, if I had a location in say Chelmsford is an area I've been looking at as another location for another work hive. If I had a client base in Chelmsford and I knew that by opening that centre I could fill it with clients within a couple of weeks because I already had them, it would be a no-brainer to spend that money, do the investment and fill it with clients. But if I had to go and work to get people there and spend a lot of money on marketing and investment, I don't think I've got the confidence to do that at this moment in time. That said, now might also be the time to really get some good deals on some premises. So I think it's, how big's your risk appetite, my friend? That's what I would say to you. But personally, I would, if it's working for you online and you can scale that, why not do that? Why do you need to go and I'm assuming to go and create a gym, you've got to invest a load of money to fit that out. You're not necessarily going to find one immediately tomorrow at a location that's already fitted out away and ready to go. So, I would hold on a physical location.
Because you had a gym opportunity come to you, didn't you? We talked about opportunities a minute ago. A few months back, where there was somewhere very close to where you live where they needed to set
they were
up.
Closing one, yeah. So there was a little like a CrossFit gym in my village, and they was selling. Yeah, the lady wanted to sell the gym, and I looked at it, but again, just
what was it that put you off?
Well, it was a distraction, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That doesn't fit into my existing portfolio businesses one bit at all.
You're getting quite chiseled yourself. Could you not have justified it in your own mind that this would help even further? No. So how
I attempted to justify it was by saying, well, I could document the change in that business and how to build a fitness brand when you've not involved in a fitness brand, and then the documenting that there would be.
Would it have been a TV show?
Well, I don't know. Probably not. I've got the charisma of a wet fish, so probably not. But
welcome to another exciting
that is an
episode.
example of it. Is it a distraction or is it an opportunity? When you distill that all down, that for what I've got going on, that was a distraction for me. Opening another workspace, opening another studio, opening something that I've already got fits into my existing empire of businesses, if you want to call it that. So, whereas a gym would not, would it? Would be just completely. I think it's hard when you physical locations at this moment in time. I don't know.
It's tricky, isn't it?
It's a big risk. I tried to get some investment to grow. I didn't try. I sounded out some potential investors to look at. This was about 6 months ago, scaling this business and opening new locations, because this location's set up, it's running, it's fine. I've got some opportunities with councils to open some more centres, and the council would use them, and there'd be an element of joint venture funding and stuff like that. But there was also an element of funds that I needed, and I sounded out some investors, some VC investors, some high net worth individuals. And whenever you have the topic of physical locations and long leases and that type of stuff, people are nervous about that at the moment.
There you go, Nick. Maybe not the answer that you were looking for, but the answer you're going to get, my friend. What's your gut telling you? Do you need a location to be able to better service these clients? Would you have to find a new client base, or is it taking the existing client base and sort of getting face to face with them? Could you improve the profitability if you could do face to face sessions? Would the 1,500 square foot space allow you to sort of almost test the waters in like a boutique kind of offering? Or
I think, yeah, great answer there, and I think that's the case. We had a gym in Manchester for 8 years, and we closed that down. So I have still got a massive client base, and I still get asked on a daily basis when you open something back up. And what we're doing now is we're selling boxing products, but they're very expensive. So for us to sell these products without people trying them out, that is where that's where the bit of the problem is, and that's why I've started to look into, do I need an actual shop front where people can come, try out my boxing things, and then we can sell the virtual and the online as well. So I think my mind is sort of pushing towards more the smaller space and keeping my X's as low as I can, to be honest. So yeah, no, brilliant. I think you've made my mind up there with that. I think, like you say, it's a bit risky at the minute. The terms that they want no less than 3 years on this place and stuff like that. And like I say, I'm enjoying the virtual. It's just it's so slow at the minute, and that's my problem.
Yeah, I think also what you've revealed there within I'm a PT and I'm going to do some in person. Realistically, there is other products and services, like you said, it's going to be nothing like putting someone through cases, getting them to actually try the exercise like that and hitting the back. It's very difficult to sell an experiential product if they don't get to do the experience. The location half, face-to-face facility for clients, and half opportunity, almost showroom for products and services that you've got. You can justify it maybe in your mind a little bit more, but it'll take maybe hedging your bets a little bit in that smaller space as well. But how many people are looking for a physical location? You're in a really, really good negotiation perspective, because you don't need to do this. You don't need to do something. You want to do it. It puts you in all the power. That landlord needs a tenant. You don't need to be that tenant. So you come up with the figures that you in your mind and stick to those numbers. Again, a fantastic guy, he's a mad investor fund. He's getting for 2 and 3 years because they need him over 50 years. He doesn't need them to do a really good position. Also,
the difference is to be about James. He's a high worth individual with businesses that are in it, and he's got the ability to stretch without bringing the back of somebody down. That's the difference. That's a different perspective. Look at it, to taking a big risk and putting it on the line. Like James is not putting his livelihood on the line. He's making calculated investment decisions based That's different to somebody that's taking the first physical space where
fair play.
that investment is the lifeblood. That's a different place. It's a different kind of risk to, with 5, 6, 12 businesses. Taking reinvesting those profits, etc., etc. It's very
I will say touch base with her. Which I believe is she is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the middle. She might be able to give you insights and wisdom, my friend. Cheers, Nick. We'll be back straight after this.
With winners, exclusive content, you are enjoying the conversation. Click on the green Monopoly House at the top of the screen right now and join the thousands of winners already in our community. For even more powerful lessons, download the free companion app now. Just search for the Winners Club in the App Store or Google Play. For more information about the Winners Club and how to become part of our growing community,
out and said, you start this bit, I'm going to lose, so we're going to start this bit while James is off the toilet. I tell you what we should do, improvement we should make. We could put a speaker in the toilet and in the kitchen, so that when you're walking around, you can hear actually what's going on in here. Anyway, we've got Jess James joining us live in the studio. Turns out you used to live just up the road. So it's brought back some memories. Welcome, Jess, and how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me here.
For you to be in the studio. Yeah, we all begin no idea. It's turning up to golf. Corporate golf days. You go and buy a set of golf clubs. You've got no idea.
Perception in reality.
That's it. So look, let's start off. So we'll start off. Who is Jeff? Yeah. So those who don't know who Jessen is, who is Jessen? What does Jessen do?
Gosh, where did I start? Yeah, look, I grew up, born and bred in East London. I grew up in East Ham. Experienced a lot of crap growing up. Didn't have a lot of money. Mum and dad didn't have a lot. We had food, we had a roof over our head. Lived in a very small terraced house in Upton Street, down the road from here. And going to school, ended up wearing second-hand clothes. My brother's hand-me-downs, the cheapest freaking trainers, Nikes. Quite frankly, you know, without sounding too morbid on the breakfast show, I got bullied. I got bullied for the works, I got bullied for the clothes I was wearing, I got bullied for the colour of my skin, and a lot of things happened. But as a 7-year-old, you can't quite understand because you don't have any sources. You don't really know why people are being mean to me, why they're doing this. You know, you don't really understand it. But I spent a lot of time blaming my parents over why we didn't have more money, why I looked the way I looked. You know, blame for the colour of my fucking skin, I blame for everything. Blame. But I actually started a 7-year-old kid with this type of more. I didn't know it at the time. So I started blaming everyone. I started to get a bit more resourceful when I started my first business at the age of 11, selling fireworks.
Not surprised.
From Mauritius, because it was our first family holiday there. What was good things to some people. And I went to St. Bonaventure, the Forest Gate, which is not far from here, and one of the kids threw some of them off a double-decker bus with uniform on. So he got past the member of the public, he then grasped his dealer, it was me. Got shut down. But anyway, just to cut a long story short, I've always been entrepreneurial, I've always been fascinated by things, but no one teaches it in school. So I went to school, like you usually do, did my A-levels, did that jazz, and wasn't quite sure. And somehow I found myself into nursing. I'm actually a psychiatric nurse, for people who don't know. Yeah, look at the face. I can spot a nutter a mile. No, but I am. When I qualified as a nurse at 24 years old, I still had this desire to be an entrepreneur. So I was down, but if I go into the deep back world of starting a business, you know, of getting a go, and I started a business, and I made a whopping minus £65,000 in 3 months because I didn't know what I was doing. And if anyone's listening, the big cost to your business is different. Always understand that, you know. So I didn't know what I was doing. I failed miserably. So I told my text kind of stupid son. Is that kind of money? And go back and do what I told you to do, which is what most of us are supposed to do, which is get a good education and go get a job. So I just went, I was back into working as a nurse. I worked in the private sector in Beckton, actually, not far from here, at the hospital Beckton, and climbed the ranks really, really quickly. I became the ward manager in the UK at 27 years old. As a ward manager in the private sector, you get given sales targets. I don't think anyone's ever met a nurse with sales targets, but and
what do you tell them?
They put bums on beds.
Okay.
That was my job, to bum on beds, basically. And I made my employer £6.5 million for 2 years. And at the tail end of the recession, so July 2009, they didn't need me anymore. I think the restructuring what they were doing, they figured out it was cheaper to let me go. But it was a big valuable lesson, and that lesson was nothing in life is secure unless you secure it yourself. And I could have easily blamed my employer. Don't get me wrong, I was sitting in the car park waiting for it to come out. But I took responsibility because at the end of the day, she fired me, but I gave her permission to do that by signing a contract. easy when, you know, things are going your way. You also remember a great mentor told me once that whenever you point one finger at someone, there's three fingers pointing back. Business is the risk, job is the risk. I messed up in both of them, so I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to take a risk of myself. And I thought, I'm not going to go ever again. Like that was the end of the fairy tale.
Big happy success.
It's the biggest challenge, and we'll talk more into this as we go on today. But the biggest challenge was changing my mind, because my mind's going, "What are you doing? You're not getting a freaking job." Like, just to give you an idea, that's what's sitting there. But the second biggest to the Priory group here in the UK, Priory would have taken that heartbeat, and I didn't do it because it became put myself in that situation again. So it was hard. I was literally running around like thinking about what I'm going to do, battling with myself. Parents, look, like for those of you who can't see me because we're on Clubhouse, I'm a brown guy. Right? My parents are from Mauritius, Indian origin, in our community. Son is unemployed. You're an embarrassment. That's true. My dad was running around telling lies. So Jessen's taking a career break. So Jessen got fired. That's all lying. But it was a struggle, and I had to stick to my values. And that's what I want everyone to listen to. Like, a lot of us are selling out. Real. There's a lot of people watch, like you guys, for example, and they want freedom. Right? They want financial freedom. They want to grow bosses. They want to do their own thing. But it's selling out security. If you think about it, most people say they value freedom, but they value security more than freedom, which is why I stay in jobs they don't like, because it's safe. They never get to be free. And that's that person. So it's non-negotiable. Wasn't going to work for anyone. So I don't want to my care business. So after being fired, because, you know, let's face it, a big believer in use what you already know. I meet a lot. I'm sure you guys do meet a lot of people who fancy it, but I know in that industry. Just to prove it, if you want to know what business of mine failed when I was 24 years old, I was a proud owner of a new luxury bathroom store. The hell. What's a nurse doing opening one of them? Like, what the hell was I thinking? But again, I had no knowledge of that industry, which is why I felt. So I always
why
say,
that? What was the criticism for that idea? Why did you go someone said, "Did you know you can import all this fancy stuff and charge everyone a massive amount of money to make a kid?" I'm like, "Yes, do it." Just to find out. Nobody wanted to buy it, and honest, I didn't know back then. But in China, you've got A grade, B grade, C grade. I paid for A, and I got C. No, well, who wants to buy it? So it wasn't cool, but I decided to use what I already know. Like, if you can use what you already know in business, everything changes. Because if you take a brand new idea, you've got two hurdles to jump. One, you've got to learn that industry. Two, you've got to learn how to run a business. If you take what you already know some things. If you've got one hurdle, which is how to run a business, and you can learn that. You know, so I started my care business, and story short, it wasn't easy. It was very, very hard. I was dealing with Newham Council. You boys will know they're very backwards coming forward. Newham, if you're listening. They don't care. Yeah.
Not a big fan.
No. It's all good. I basically got that business running. It was hard. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to dress up. I think a lot of people get into business thinking it's going to be all rosy, but it's a marathon. It's a sprint. So I worked hard. I reinvested the money into that company, doubled the size of it in the first year, and then when I put the job. It wasn't cool, and I think people and system does it.
Crypto loves
fund that manages financially free at the age of 31. Yeah, bought and sold honestly.
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears. Yeah, yeah. Thing is, stop talking because I am. There's always something missing. If you think about
photo.
Some of them do. Because of a lack of fulfillment. So for me, fulfillment comes in giving back and help. It feels good, and it's like
I wonder what your analogy.
So let's be honest. It's because so I made that, so I retrained Mauritius. Yeah, and I'm now in thinking like I used to be now I'm like
ultra visual.
I am not going to.
And poorhouse. How was that?
You know, we've you forget the fact that you have forget that you have all these little just what you want. And disposable income that £1,900 a week to spend. Fuel, food. And it made that, you know, ever watching, I still love. Blah blah blah, all this nonsense. Here, but I'll happily sit. why they are where they are. And it's virtually impossible for you not to be able to make money. Because they life I swapped with. But weeks in Morrison's Cafe, you know. Little things she's able to go and why am I sharing that with you? Is because you guys here, like, you make one more person resourceful.
We'll know a different reality.
Improve someone's life. Don't.
Back and
they did. We're going to be honest with you. So they did a Rich House. And how I helped.
By like writing a check.
Absolutely, it's sad.
Lloyd, with that family, you know, they're after like go and watch some cars. Tries to help some other people.
Pilots for TV shows. No, it wasn't that. It was house.
Right.
It was very, and what I didn't want at that period financially, which was going to the economics of that. About the outcome and to keep that and edit it. Was you worried about
and they can do this, they can do that. agree that you take that and anything should be a win-win, right? So yeah. So I thought, you know, I'll show and all these kind of great things. A million years growing up.
You mentioned a minute ago the market, you know, of it. No. And we took though, isn't it? I bet he's still. So that first season, you know, scarcity to have so much you had to go back into when you the first one is the industry. Ever in any situation. And for me, it was to that salon. If you want to do it, you only learn someone. Every business that for me, and it's just like so for me it's about the principles. You know, you should do with any business. And take it to another level. I'd like to introduce you to your next client, Ashley Shipman. If you could sort him out for us, that would be a business masterclass and still doing your bit. I'm not a psychiatric nurse anymore. I left that behind me.
As we walked up the stairs, Jessen, you was telling me you're doing a lot of physical events, like in-person events. What's that been like through COVID?
Do you know what? I'm in an industry where a lot of my peers are in the events game. And a lot of people during COVID, I don't want to use the word pivot, I think it got overused during COVID, but did pivot, or whatever you want to call it, went into online, virtual. And there's pluses in that because we did some virtual stuff and I'm able to tap into a global audience that I never had before. I mean, I've got clients in the Caribbean, in Africa, in Australia, never had them before. But the thing is people went from, I think they took the word pivot and they had a different meaning attached to it. It was retraction, not growth. So some people have cancelled all of their live events. They're not going to do live events anymore. They're just going to do online. Now, they're missing a point. Like for me, like we actually grew during the pandemic because we went, well, how can we somehow continue to do that live events as well as tap into the virtual side of things? So we ran some virtual events, which was great, but we started running hybrid events. So we started working with hotels and one of the relaxing the laws on lockdown and you can have in a room and stuff and things like that. Like I said, 30 people max. So we had 30 people max spaced out in a room in person, made them pay to be in the room, and then live streamed it to people at home as well. So we had like screens all over the place and stuff. So we kind of, I'm always looking at how can I grow through this, not retract through this, because if you go into retraction, then you end up, you like starting to save, starting to, I don't know, stop spending money on this, cut back on it. You go into that retraction mindset. For me, I don't like. It's one of the reasons why in my household I don't have a personal budget. I know a lot of people in their own households have got personal budgets, right? They've got X amount per month for a mortgage, X amount for a car, X amount for. I literally don't have one. I'm ignorant to it. Why? Because it puts me in retraction. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't give a damn what I spend in my household. I will just make more, I'll replenish it. And it sounds crazy, but that's how my mind works. So in business, I'm the same. Don't take me wrong, I take calculated risks, but I never go into retraction. So for me, during lockdown, what happened was yes, we doubled down on the online stuff, which is fine. But what that was building our brand, just like you guys are doing, building your brand, and it's like a down payment on future business. So then as soon as we were allowed to do more events and we just unlocked events, then all these people we've built relationships with online, we're like, we want to meet you. Like, we really want to meet you. And I think people really miss the trick. Like you guys, if you guys say, like, we're doing a road show, we're doing a tour, we're doing events, we're doing this, blah, 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 because of what you've been doing here on the show every single day, people are going to want to meet you in person. So it's an asset. But people who retracted and went, like, we're not doing any of that, we're just going to keep on selling courses online or whatever online, for me, anyway, it's not my thing. So for us, it's great. We've got 96 events, live events in the diary this year alone.
Oh, wow.
And 175 live days. So out of those events, some of them are like 3-day courses, 4 days and stuff and things like that. Well, that's not including our webinars and online stuff. But we're growing for it. We're pushing for it. And I think if we keep hallucinating about what we don't know yet, are they going to lock us down? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? Then you put some contingency in place, of course, but you don't grow like that, So I have no idea what the government are doing. Like, Boris wakes up in the morning, brushes his hair with a balloon,
goes to a work event,
and then goes to a work event, and then goes and has a bit of a dance. But I don't know whatever he does. But we don't know what they're doing. So why focus? What can you control? We'll control what you're doing.
Did you to start with though? Because obviously we're looking back now. It's sad to say, we're looking back with like 18 months to 2 years worth of retrospective knowledge in this crazy period we've all lived through. And it's easy to look back in hindsight and go, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I did then, and I made calculated decisions. But was there a moment, knowing how important a growth mentality and mindset is for you, did you find yourself at the very start going, oh, I need to retract? Did you do it, and did you catch yourself, and how did you coach yourself around?
Last question. I had this exact same discussion with my friend and business partner Rob Moore, who you guys know, a few weeks ago actually, because we were speaking about this on a podcast, and he asked this question, and I'd like to say yes, I did wobble. I didn't, and I'm not saying that to be arrogant. I've learned to do something that most people should do before they go into business, and that is to manage your state. Everything you do is state dependent. Like literally, your outcomes are state dependent. So, for example, lockdown happens, you go into a state of panic. That affects your decision making. Your decision making affects your actions, the quality of your actions. The quality of your actions affects the quality of your results. If you want better results, take better actions. You want to take better actions, take better decisions. You want to make better decisions, make it from a better state. So for me, I've trained myself to go, yeah, that's a problem. What's the solution? Now, that's not normal. It's not, because we've got neuro pathways in our brain that automatically go to problem. What we're going to do, like, it's crazy, it's going to hurt. We start making up all the bad things that are going to happen. So my brain is trained to literally go, yeah, no problem, but what's the solution? Even that to my kids. My kids will turn up to me, oh, Dustin hit me. I'm like, cool, what's the problem? What's the solution? What do you want to do about it? Hit him back? I don't know. Actually, it's just cut that.
Awful parenting
my great
advice.
parenting skill. But no, I'd love to say I wobbled, but I didn't. And there's two reasons behind that. One, state management. The other one is because I did the work behind the scenes. What I mean by that is I'm prepared for a pandemic. I know it sounds horrible, but most of the population weren't. With all due respect, because of the way I've built my finances, my assets, my businesses, the way I live my life, I don't need to work. And I don't sound arrogant, but it's because I've done the work behind the scenes that if a curveball hits me tomorrow, I'm good. And obviously it's not great, but I'll be okay. And again, why have I done that? Because I'm able to not panic in that situation and then regroup and make better decisions. But if you're only relying on one source of income, for example, let's say you've got a job. Look how many people lost their job during this pandemic. Look how many people, their actual business got wiped out. They had one source of income. What does that do to your state? Panic. What does that do to your decisions? Poor. Action, poor. Results, poor. But if you've got 3, 4, 5 sources of income and one of them dries up, even 2 of them dries up, you can still live. Which means your state's still good, which means you can make better decisions, which means you can take better actions and get better results. So you got to do the work now. I think the people who grew during the pandemic are the people that were doing the work behind the scenes, not just on themselves, but on their businesses and their assets as well. So I think the lesson from all of that is what are you waiting for to happen now? It's already happened. What are you waiting next for you to take action and do something different? So
how do you manage your state? Have you got a daily practice, or do you notice when your state is a bit off and you're like, oh, hang on a second, I'm a big fan of Wim Hof breathing, but Paul knocks me for it because I go out walking in the woods all the time. Thinks I'm a weirdo.
Barefoot in ice.
Barefoot in the ice, naked.
No, hold on.
No one likes it.
Hold on, I don't knock.
You get arrested for that sort of thing.
I don't knock. Sometimes try and give you a dose of reality.
That is true.
I often find with a lot of and I'm going to be controversial.
You didn't have to sound like my dad then.
Sometimes I think, and he was definitely the guy when I met him 7 or 8 months ago. You do the Wim Hof stuff, you go walking in the woods, you do all of that stuff. Because you think that fundamentally that's going to make a massive change. So it's like the Wim Hof's going to give you the answers that you've been waiting for.
He will.
When reality is, you know the decisions that need to be made. You just haven't made them yet, and you think that Wim Hof's going to give you the confidence to make the decisions, right?
See, there you go. He's not in your ice bucket, whatever it is you use.
And I think a lot of business owners, people who have existing businesses, a lot of them do this. They get themselves into they're very busy with being busy, right? And get themselves into a state of panic or sticky situations. Yes. And then you often go down the personal development route to try to find the answers. But it always results back to needing to make a fundamental change. Yeah, inside of the business.
It's very true. Look, I think when things are not going your way, even when things are going your way, there's always another problem. There's lots of different problems that come up. But I think, especially during the pandemic, I think a lot more people have gone spiritual. Literally everything goes wrong and they start wanting to find Jesus. They want to find God. They want to find something. They're like, I know I don't talk to you very often, but things are pretty bad right now. And I know people are constantly seeking the answer, but going back to your question, James, about how do you manage your state, whether you use Wim Hof, whether you use whatever you use, the key around it is awareness. Most people are unaware that they're running these patterns. Most people are unaware that their default is stress, panic, anxiety, worry. It's a default for most people. So if you can be aware of it, like you said, catch yourself doing it, then ask yourself a better question, how can I solve it? Because I genuinely believe God, the creator, the universe, whatever you want to call it, created Google before Google did, right? And it's in your head. If something goes wrong and you're like, oh my gosh, why does this always happen to me? Your human Google brain is going to give you 100 reasons why this always happens to you, right? So if something happens to you and you go, well, how can I solve this? Your human Google is going to give you 100 or look for 100 reasons of how or options of how. And it's awareness. And I think, there's lots of people out there that will teach you strategies of state management, and there's lots of things you could do, peripheral vision, breathing, whatever you want to call it, blah, blah, blah. But the first step before all of that is awareness and the desire to want to change your state. Because if you don't want to change your state, it doesn't matter what Wim Hof, whatever the hell you want to do. There needs to be a desire for that. So for me, it's catching yourself doing it and being aware. Because then how do you manage your state? You can learn.
Love it. See? You just need to be aware first of all. You need to be aware that you're ruining my vibe.
I seriously still wouldn't go into an ice bath or any of that stuff. Brown people don't do that sort of thing.
One thing you've got to touch on is I got sent a website yesterday. You're running a scale-up business summit talking about events. You mentioned you've got loads coming up this year.
Yes.
But then I think one of the big next you've got coming up is this Scale Up Business Summit.
Yes.
Scale Up Your Business Festival in Disruptive Times. It's in a couple of months' time, I think.
Yes.
There's you, there's Rob Moore, who's a pal of the show, Elena Cardone, Alan Barrett from Grenade. This is quite the lineup, and there's also more top guests to be revealed as well.
Yes. We're trying to work on a few top guests. Just going to drop a little seed. We're trying to secure a contract, and one of them's involved in the sex industry.
Okay.
Throw it out there. But it's not what you think, you perverts. No, but that event.
Oh, I know who it is.
Do you know?
I know who she is.
You do?
I do.
All right.
I'm looking for eye accessing cues here.
Are you?
He's giving nothing away.
All right. No, I've got my poker face on. But look, no, the idea behind the event, and again, because I'm pretty sure your listeners can take the truth, is that there are lots of people out there that call themselves business owners, but have no clients. There's a lot of people out there that, like, when I run an event, if I ask a question, say raise your hand if you're a business owner, like everyone puts their hand up, but then I ask how many you got trading, how many of you are trading and actually got clients, like half the room's hands go down. Because people they take on this title of business owner, but they can't really identify with the identity of being a business owner. A business owner runs a business, not it runs them. You know, most people are operators. You know, they don't realise the difference between that. So what we really wanted to do is take people who've got an existing business, or even an existing business idea, and with all due respect, help them to stop getting in their way and show them step by step what they need to do to grow. And I don't like using take your business to the next level. What the hell is the next level anyway? Whatever it is for you. You know, and if that's down to getting your first paying client, because that's a big win as a business owner or entrepreneur, or now leveraging your business, scaling it, employing better people, systemizing it, and being able to step away and actually have a business that you don't need to sort of like run around worrying all the time. Like, you know, so Rob and I, my business partner Rob Moore, who some of you will know, we've come together and we decided, you know what, let's put this together into a summit. It's going to be online, and the reason it's going to be online is purely because we have an international audience and we do hit in Clubhouse as well and things like that. So we wanted to really kind of hit home with people and teach them step by step what they should be doing. Now, it's not a free event. I'm just going to throw it out there. It's not free.
Because when people pay, they pay attention.
Absolutely.
Said a wise man about half an hour ago.
Because I think there's a lot of free information available out there, and a lot of people don't implement it. And if I'm very honest, we're looking for a certain type of people to attend it.
Yeah, of course.
We don't want just freebie seekers and stuff. Like, I used to run free events in London, like, you know, in central London. Like, literally anyone with a freaking oyster card would freaking turn up for those, like, just for the free jelly beans and fucking bottle of water.
Matt Wilson, who you probably know,
Yes.
he jokes about all those events. You'd always have someone turn up with a carrier bag.
Yeah, literally, someone would turn up, sit in the front row with a freaking sandwich or something, like look like a freaking homeless, and I'm like, "What are you doing at my event?" Like, "Why are you here?" Like, "I love you. I know you want a bit of shelter. There's other ways to do it. Like, give a donation, mate. I'll sort you out." But like, no, honestly, joking aside, I want people to take this seriously, because it's not just another event where you turn up and you get pitched at and you get this and you get that. We've got Elena Cardone. She isn't cheap. No. Ask her husband. So
she's a good speaker, Elena, as
she's
well.
a great, and it's strategic, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to be honest, if you look at my client base, 70% of my client base, if not more, are actually females.
Right.
And it's because I actually champion female entrepreneurship. Like, men, I love you too, but ladies, you just get shit done. Like, give it a chance. Like, you do. I believe, like, men, we talk about it too much. Like,
We do, definitely do.
we just talk. So you guys set this up, right? Just talk all day, get paid for it. No, but
just talk all day.
we missed that. We missed that.
I can help you with that.
We keep talking about it, though. We're fine.
No, but jokes aside, like, I think women, I find women get stuck in and get stuff done if they've got the right, mentorship and the right leadership. And with all due respect, I think, and I've got to be a little bit controversial here. You guys like being controversial. There's a lot of women out there campaigning for women only, equality, all this kind of stuff. And I'm just going to be honest, we're not going to get equality in our lifetime. Like, not now. And I don't think they ever will. So, with all due respect, ladies, if you're listening, stop waiting for the world to be equal for you to step into your greatness. Go and do it now. You don't need to wait for people to accept you, whatever it might be. Just go and do it. And what I'm seeing is that the ladies that are actually taking charge of their careers and not living up to labels, and who says you can't do this, who says you can't do that, and just going against the grain, the ones that are winning right now. People who are still waiting for people to give them a shot, respect them, make them equal. They're just going to be waiting for you're basically waiting for other people to validate you. Like that's like squeezing a bottle of ketchup and hoping water comes out. It's not going to freaking happen, is it? Like, what are you doing? So for us, we've got Elena Cardone on the lineup for a couple of reasons. Number one, not gonna dress it up. A lot of these events are freaking postman parties. There's men everywhere. Like literally, it's just all the panels of men, or most of these events. So we want to get a good, solid female speaker in there because we champion female entrepreneurs. And two, we do want her to resonate with a lot of female entrepreneurs out there who are listening because her story is inspiring, from being a Hollywood movie star to now doing what she does now with her husband Grant Cardone, who many of you will know, and stuff and things like that. But she's just got this energy about her that gives people inspiration and faith and hope that things can work. And I think more people need to hear that. So
her whole empire builders concept as well. I interviewed her about it. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Got on a properly solid foundation, and she's very, very good at what she's an incredibly astute, smart lady.
Oh, absolutely. And what we love about her is that she gives people a sense of belonging. Mm-hmm. And I think in this day and age, business is lonely, man. Like,
she's really good at cultivating community.
100%. And business is lonely. So, look. Everyone listening to this, I'm very sure you've got someone or people around you that are negative. We all do, right? Like, so the key is though there's some of them you can't change, right? It might be your family, it might be whatever it might be, but what can you do? With all due respect, you can buy some new friends, right? So how do you do that? How do you buy new friends? You invest in mentorship, you invest in other circles, you invest in masterminds, and honestly, like we're having a laugh here, whatever, but we can be friends, and we can you can socialize with these people as well. They can become friends, and a lot of my business partners become friends. Like Rob Moore, myself, and a lot of the other speakers, James, even you mentioned James. All of us are in the same mastermind group together, and we're all friends, and we have a laugh, and we do that. But not only do we support each other in business, but outside of that as well. And it's about upgrading your circle of influence. So if you're carrying on hanging around 5 broke people, then you're going to be number 6. It's what they say. So for us, we put this event together to take people by the hand, no matter what stage you're at in business. So, and I'm going to go out and just say how it is once more to everyone listening. There are business owners right now who are probably a bit egotistical. What do I mean by that? You're looking at this event and you're probably thinking, here we go, it's another event for, startups. It's another event for people who don't know. I don't want to hang out with dreamers and blah, 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 which is why we're not doing it for free. It's not free because I don't want your ego to get in the way. Like, you don't know what you don't know. You literally, I've taken companies that are already 8 figures and literally doubled their turnover, and that particular business was doing better than me. And I'm being honest. And if that client can drop their ego and go, look, I've already reached this, but I know there's things I don't know, and Jessen, you know what I don't know, then if someone who is already doing 8 figures can drop their ego, what's your excuse? Just because you're doing 6 figures or even 7 figures doesn't mean you know everything. So don't assume this event is just another one of those events where it's going to be full of dreamers. It's not. It's for serious people. So that's why we put it on. Obviously, we've got Elena Cardone. We've got Al from Grenade.
He's fantastic. I love
man. Like,
when you speak to him, tell me you want to spend sponsorship deal. We spend amongst the 3 of us, we spend a fortune on Grenade products.
I've actually got one in my car. I'm pretty sure I have. But some of you will know the brand Grenade, like obviously the nutrition brand. But it's a phenomenal story behind what he did. I mean, he got like a £500 loan. And to start this empire, and he's sold his shares twice. I think once in 2014, once in 2017, while still retaining big ownership for multi-millions. So, but he's a character. He knows his stuff, and I think it's a nice humbling story, And I think it's good to listen to people like that because they it's not another rag to riches story in a sense. They talk methodically through how they did what they did, and I love stories like that. I interviewed Neville Wright, last year for the owner. Do you guys remember Kitty Cat? Yeah. And his story just he started on like the high street with just like selling second-hand prams and stuff. And it's a beautiful story. But what I love about people like this, that they've not lost their compassion. They've not lost their human touch, if that makes any sense. They're not detached from anything because they've got a bit of money in their pocket or whatever. And I love people like that. So
they still love what they do as well. The people I think who are the most successful, you look at like an Elena and a Grant and Neville, for example, and Alan. Like you say, Alan sold out to Mondelez, didn't he, last year? A big chunk of it. He's still very much, he's probably not pulling as many strings as he used to.
No,
but he's still, like
they're passionate, getting
tanks into random fields and getting like random mental marketing campaigns up and running, and sending. Who did he have? Not James Haskell, the rugby dude who does a lot of stuff with Grenade. Anyway, they were campaigning for the gyms to get opened back up, weren't they? Because during lockdown, like, why are we not getting people into an environment where we can get healthier? And they sent their giant orange grenade tank to Parliament Square, and they just parked outside for the day. And I was like, I just love them. And he was down there. He was like, why are we doing this? Because it's the right thing to do. I was like, that's brilliant. Genuine passion for what they do.
But this is it. But on that note of passion, there's people listening to this right now that would love to do something like that. For example, they'd like to be a speaker, they'd like to be a coach, they'd like to be a consultant, they'd like to be out there, doing charity work, where it might be, following their passion. But I think we've missold this, turn your passion into profit thing. I think a lot of people have missold it, if I'm very honest. Yes, there are things you can be passionate about and make money from, but some of you are passionate about some freaky shit that nobody wants to know. But if anything, if you want to be passionate about something, be passionate about the process in business, not the prize. And most people are running around, they're not getting the prize, so they're passionate about the prize. Like, they want to make the money, they want to have the freedom, they want to have the fame. They're not passionate about the process. And that's why most people stop, because they fall out of love with the process. Therefore, I see a lot of tired business owners. Maybe you're listening right now and you're tired of your business. It's not the business you're tired of the process. Because you were in love with that idea enough to launch it, right? So what happened along the way? Well, society, the economy, your clients, the marketing, industry, it beat the crap out of you, and now you're not happy with the process, but you still want the prize. So fall in love with the process, because the prize is a side effect of that, and that's so anyone who wants to follow their passion. I didn't become a speaker until I was good, until I was sorted financially. I didn't just go off and start doing this stuff. I'm passionate about what I do today. I love speaking, I love serving, I love doing what I do today. So if you want to unlock your passion, whatever it might be, fix what you've already got.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to try and trip them up now, guys, because I can see the website, right? So there's Rob Moore's on the lineup. Yourself, obviously, Alan Barrett, Elena Cardone. Who are the other people?
It's a face. Damn it. If you look on there, it's like a blank face.
Well, there was a blank face. Yeah, it's more guests being revealed.
More guests being like it's.
Who is she though?
Well, it's actually a male silhouette. So,
okay. So who is he then?
Could be both.
No, she is great, though, isn't she?
She is brilliant. I can't wait to hear her speak. What time is she on? Remind me, what is she?
It's an incredible speaker.
Okay, that's allowed these days.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So the event is on the 18th and 19th of March.
I pinned it to the top.
Oh, wicked!
Cool. Oh, wow!
You can find it up there.
Yeah, hey, there it is.
So go.
It's 2 days. It's 2 days. We're running it for all those people who don't like early starts. We are running it at midday in the UK, and the reason we're doing that, it's midday to 8 p.m. So 12 to 8 p.m. The reason we're doing that is that we've got people from America and all over the world. You can join anywhere. And like I said, it's 2 days. The other thing that we're doing about this is we're donating some of your ticket to Great Ormond Street. And let me explain why. I've got a big passion for Great Ormond Street. I've donated a lot of money to Great Ormond Street. I love kids. I think there's a lot of kids out there. They're our next generation, and a future. And I think there's a lot of kids out there suffering. And what people don't know about, as being an ex-nurse, what people don't know about the NHS is that they still depend on donations in certain things. And the government don't bail them out. Great Ormond Street sometimes have to provide treatment for kids that NHS don't have the budgets for, and I know how budgets work in NHS. I used to run the budget, so so they rely heavily on donations. And I'm not saying this to scare anyone, but the truth of the matter is, if they don't get donations, some children die. That's fact. That's how it is. So. And I'm going to go as far as saying it like this as well. I donate a lot of money abroad. Like, I donate to Concern Worldwide, which is a children's charity that helps kids worldwide. But my big bugbear is that there's poverty happening on our own doorstep right here in the UK, and no one talks about it. There are families, there's kids that still go to school with no food. How the hell does that even happen? There's people sleeping on the streets. There's families that can't afford healthcare for their kids. Like kids, I see people doing fundraising. My child needs this operation, and they can't get the treatment. So if we can pour some money into Great Ormond Street, they will save some lives. So that's why we want to make sure you guys don't just take this ticket for the sake of your own business, because that's selfish. Take it as not only you're going to win, but some kids are going to win as well. So we're donating a portion of that. So it's a 2-day event. It's 2 days. We're going to teach you lots of things. So, for example, branding. You all know my business partner Rob Moore, the disruptive entrepreneur. He's actually changed his podcast.
The disruptor, isn't he?
Disruptor. He's the disruptor. Well, yeah, he's a disruptor. But he's just built a phenomenal personal brand multiple times around different projects. And what he's going to do is peel back exactly how he's done that. Because the side effect of that, and I want people to really take this seriously. You could lose your car, your business, everything tomorrow. Nobody can take your identity away. No one can take your brand away. You've got a brand, it's a massive asset. You could literally stop and start again tomorrow. So not only is he going to show you how to build that brand and what he's done step by step, is he's also going to teach you how to monetize that brand, like through digital assets, digital like real estate, as he likes to call it now, digital real estate, and do that in a way that's non-pushy, non-sales, like allow people to come and work with you. And you can build some serious assets through intellectual property doing that. So we're going to peel back how we do that. We're also going to peel back the 7-step model I was talking about earlier on, about how to run a business. I'm going to take every single person through deep dive into the 7 laws that every business follows. And just to give you a snippet of that, I'm really going to unpack the psychology of business in the next psychiatric test. I think a lot of people teach strategy, but let's be honest, how many strategies have you guys taught people before and they haven't done it? That's what I'm saying.
We tried to get Ashley to talk to the microphone and look at the camera every single week, but yet we still struggle.
Big fail.
We've got to get to the psychology of why he's not doing it.
Too many distractions. Put me in a square box.
I'll tell you what, it's because he doesn't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Fix it. Well, no, he has to want to be fixed. Do you want to be fixed? No, it's not. No, well then, he's fucked. No. But honestly, I really want to deep dive into the psychology of what stops you. That's number one, and the psychology of what makes people buy. Now, I'm going to be honest. If I can teach you how to influence people and help them to buy from you without you having to, push them and all that kind of stuff, you're going to make more sales and you're going to have less refunds. Plain and simple. So I'll teach you the art of influence while you're there. I'll teach you how to get people to do what you want them to do without them knowing that you're doing it. And you can even use it on your kids if you have any. Has anyone got kids here? Like any mic flashes? Anyone got kids? Yes, maybe.
Lots of us.
Give me a mic flash if you're not sure. But you've got 4 that you know of. That's it. There you go. But no, joking aside, if you can learn how to communicate and articulate yourself and use influence, you will spill out into all areas of your life, not just business. So I want to unpack the psychology of business and also what makes people buy. We're going to look at creating some solid products that people actually want to buy. We're going to look at pricing those. We're going to look at, creating additional offers to your clients, all that kind of stuff, as well as working on your positioning. When I say positioning, it's not marketing. It's how people look at you. Like, let's be honest, how many people listening to this right now, I'm pretty sure you've had someone stand you up before, didn't show up for a phone call, didn't show up to a meeting, or was late to a meeting, late to a phone call, whatever it might be. What does that mean? It basically means they don't respect you. That's what it means. Because if the same person who stood you up tomorrow at 2 p.m. Was invited to Buckingham Palace, private audience with the Queen, for tea, would that person be late, on time, or early? They'd probably be early, right? So what's the difference between the Queen and you? Obviously, she's the Queen. And I say that with Boris in the background. Boris in the background. That's timing for you. Sorry, you can't see this clubhouse. We've got a screen with Boris on the background here. But for me, the difference between the Queen and you is respect. Right? They just look at you differently. So what I'm trying to say to people is stop training people to disrespect you. Like stop jumping on phone calls with absolutely every Tom, Dick, and Harry just because they want to speak to you. Stop going for coffees with people.
You listen to this, Ash.
Tom, Dick, and Harry. Half the room will know.
Got to stop those patterns, Ash. But listen, meeting people for coffees all the time just to get to know you. People want to meet you to learn more about what you do. With all due respect, you can get that information online. Not being horrible. When you're ready to buy or make a decision, let's meet, because then it's better for both of us.
That's exactly That's exactly how it works. What is the purpose of it?
Yeah.
What is the agenda?
What's the agenda? You need to know.
What is the agenda straight away? And then
You need to know, because there's time vampires that it's like your time, and like, you know, and it's heartbreaking as a business owner. Like, how many meetings and coffees do you go to, and you don't make the sale? Like, how many times are you going to go to Starbucks and meet people and not make the sale? You're just making Starbucks with you.
The thing is, I struggle with small talk. So yeah, there has to be an agenda.
There is, and this is why I want to teach people stuff. Like, for example, you can have a little snippet now. Before you go and meet anyone to have a sales conversation, whether it's on the phone or in person, you should ask them, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not now and 10 being absolutely ready to make a informed choice and invest in the solution. Where are you? And if it's anything less than a 10, you tell them to come back when they're a 10. And not everyone wants to say that. But I'm just saying it because I respect my time enough to understand this. When you give someone a piece of when you give someone your time, you give them a piece of your life you can never get back. Please understand that. So why are you giving your time away to people all the time? So I'm going to teach you how to position yourself better as an authority. And just one of the strategies I'll teach you on that will help you go from unknown to authority in the marketplace overnight if you do it right.
Oh,
how's that for a seed?
That's pretty good. I think that is very nice. So if you guys at the top of the room, because we've just run over the 9 o'clock hour, click onto the link at the top of the room right now. As Jessen said earlier, if people don't pay attention, so this is not a free event, so don't be like sign up for a ticket if you think you're just going to go on and maybe you'll watch it, maybe you jump onto the replay, blah blah blah. No. There's 2 options there. It's not an expensive event. It's 95 quid plus VAT, or it's £2.95 plus VAT if you want to get a platinum ticket. Yes. There's 2 options there for you, but people who pay attention. That is why it is priced accordingly. 100%. And as he mentioned, there's a charitable donation for both tickets. It's going to Ormond Street as well. 2 days of tactical, practical information delivered by the likes of Rob, Jessen, Al Barrett from Grenade, Elena Cardo. Who's the other one? Who's there?
Maybe it's us. Maybe that black face is reserved for us.
Shipman, of course. He looks tiny. If you look at him, he's squished. Yeah. Oh,
I was just negotiating the contract for us.
Yeah.
We're gonna help Ash with ADHD.
But yeah, if you want more information about it, I'm sure just about feel free to hit him up here on Clubhouse or Instagram if you need more information. Well, the link is at the top of the room right now. If you can't click on it for whatever reason, pop me or Ash or Paul a DM and just put an event or something. We can pin you that link directly as well.
Please, if you're going to DM me on Instagram or in the back channel here, can you just make sure you were listening to me on a Breakfast with Winners so I can send you the right link?
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button there. I leant on the wrong button.
Jingle going on in the background. Basically, that was like being on stage of a countdown going, fuck off. We're done. Yeah.
Cheers for being here. Outstage welcome. The event is on the 18th and the 19th of March, brings together a collection of wildly successful entrepreneurs. Oh, I wonder if Bob's going to announce his thing that he wants to, his jelly babies. Surely he's going to announce that by then, surely.
I don't even know.
You neither confirm nor deny what's going on. Anyway, check out for more info. Click the link at the top of the room right now. I've really enjoyed this morning. Thank you. Good to see you again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in Clubhouse right now, give me Mike Flash a show of appreciation for his time this morning, his wisdom, his insights, and a bit of his journey. Jessen James, everybody.
Appreciate it. Thanks, team. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. We will be back tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. as always, until about 9 o'clock. Unless we've got a really good guest, and we'll just run over for 5-10 minutes. That's a benefit of it not being a proper broadcast, isn't it? Can't do this on the BBC, can you? Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Cheers. Bye.